thumbs up if you are, or yeah. I am not. I've made a few pies in my life, but I wanted to bring up pie making because it seems that there are a lot of different strong ideas about how to make a pie. So I might use a store-bought crust, but you would never, ever, not now, not in the future, use a store-bought crust. I might use canned peaches for my filling, and you might say, I would rather not make a pie. You know, pie is pizza pie, and we're not even going to get into the different kinds of crust on pizza pie. Or if you're really not, you know, food motivated, then pie for you is 3.14, whatever the rest of that number is. The reason I'm bringing this up is because the way that we make a pie really depends on our philosophy. It depends on the ingredients that we have. It depends on the time that we have. It depends on our ability, our baking ability. And that's the same thing with our yoga poses that we make on our mats. So we have different philosophies. Some people have the philosophy, go hard or go home, go all in or don't show up at all. I personally don't subscribe to that for yoga. It may work in other parts of our lives, but on our yoga mat, I think we need to be a little more gentle with ourselves. There are times to push, yes, but I think go big or go home doesn't really work on the yoga mat. So there are different philosophies about how to do these poses. We have different ingredients. So body, mind, heart, breath. My half moon pose is going to look different from yours because you have different ingredients to build that pose than I do. We have different abilities. So while I'm in the half moon pose, I might be shaking and maybe falling out of the pose and then coming back into it, while you are really steady in your pose because you have a different ability to balance on one foot than I do. So the idea is that we make our poses with what we have. And there's, to me, not one right way to move into the pose, sustain the pose, and then move out of it into the next pose. And if you find a yoga teacher who tells you there's one right way, I recommend you move on to some other class. So we come with what we have today. We're going to make asana, not pie. Although maybe you're going to go out and make a pie after this. I don't know, because there are lots of good fresh ingredients out there, if that's the way you want to go. So find your seat. Let's settle in for a moment as we set our intention. Close your eyes and bring your hands together in front of your heart. We're going to take two clearing breaths together. That's going to be a big inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And when we do these together, on the exhale, I want you to exhale out ideas about having to conform on your mat, conform to how you think poses should look or how you think a yogi should act. And when you inhale, bring in energy that will allow you to be yourself on your mat. So two clearing breaths together. Big inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Now make your commitment to make your poses today in the way that's right for you, with the philosophy that you bring to the mat about what yoga is and how to be a yogi. Be you on your mat with the ingredients that you have, your body, your mind, your heart, your breath. Be you today with the ability that you have in this moment. accepting where you are, while also maybe working towards something else. As you exhale, bow your head towards your heart, and then separate your palms, release your hands down. And as you inhale, sit a little taller, roll your shoulders back so you let your heart open, and then open your eyes. All right, if you're playing music, I did make a playlist for us today. You're welcome to find that on Spotify. It's Virtual Yoga 7/16. You can press play on whatever music you might be using. We're going to stay in a seat just a little longer. Any seat works, so you can stretch your legs out, whatever feels good for you. Interlace your hands in front of you, and then make figure eights with your hands. So remember, we're being ourselves today, so we're just trying to get both sides of the wrist and the back of the wrist and the inside of the wrist to open up. Take your figure eight in the other direction. And if figure eight just feels like, what, I don't really know how to do that, just roll your wrists around. Not important here, just trying to get a little wrist mobility. And then come into stillness. You're going to press your palms forward and take a sort of cat pose in your seat. As you press your palms forward, open up between the shoulder blades, look down at the floor, press the hands forward a little bit more. And then as you inhale, take the arms straight up overhead, pressing your palms up towards the ceiling. And then just a little bit of a back bend, lifting your chest up. Maybe for the back bend for you at this point in the practice means lifting your gaze up. And then exhale, unlace the hands, and then make circles with your two fists as you lower your hands down. All the way, slowly coming down. And then shake your hands out. All right, hands and knees. We'll take one cat pose here. And one cow pose. And then come into neutral. So in neutral, reinforce in your abdomen. So make the belly muscle strong. As you inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. As you exhale, bring your knee in, but try not to take a cat pose with your spine. The lower back will have a little bit of a cat spine, but just pull that knee in, using your core to pull in, pull in, pull in. Inhale, stretch your legs straight back behind. Two more of those. Exhale, bend your knee, pull it in. Maybe take your gaze forward so you don't get too much of a cat spine in your upper back. Inhale, stretch your leg back. One more, exhale, pull it in, pull the belly in. Inhale, reach your leg back, swing your right leg over to the left, put the ball of your foot down off the left side of your mat, and then turn back and look over your left shoulder at your right foot, trying to get space into the right side body. So press back through the right heel, even reach forward through the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to the middle, right leg back behind you. Swing your left foot out to the left just a little bit, and then come into, we'll call it half moon pose on the left knee. Opening up the right side body up towards the ceiling, and then bend the right knee, reach back with your right hand or your strap. Grab your foot, we'll take a couple of breaths for a quad stretch here. Try to stay strong in your core to help with the balance. And then push your right foot into your right hand, open up a little bit, take your head back a little bit, and then release back to all fours, hands and knees. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And then come to neutral. Inhale, take your left leg straight back behind you. Abdomen is really strong here. Take your gaze a little bit forward, and then as you exhale, pull your knee in and pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Inhale, stretch your leg back. 2 more. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, stretch back. 1 more. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, stretch back, swing your left foot over to the right so it's off the right side of your mat. Just the ball of your foot is down. And then look back over your right shoulder towards your left foot. Even pull that left shoulder a little more forward as you reach back through your left heel. And then inhale. Bring your shoulders to square, stretch your left leg back, kick your right foot off to the right a little bit, and then come into this kneeling half moon pose. Left leg is still stretched, straight back behind you. And then bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, grab your foot, hug your heel in, a little bit of a quad opener here. And then push your foot into your hand, open up into a back bend, chest moves forward as your head and foot move back. And then exhale, release back to hands and knees. 1 more time, we'll take cat pose on your exhale and cow pose on your inhale. And then downward facing dog, tuck the toes under. Stretch your hips back and up, and then make micro adjustments in your downward dog. So whatever feels good for you, just to move around a little bit here and stretch out your back body. Walk your feet about 6 inches forward and take your feet out as wide as your mat is. Take your right hand to your left ankle, grab on and twist around. So I said walk your feet 6 inches forward, but we all have different ingredients. We all have different limb lengths. You may need a little more, you may need 8 inches forward, or you may need just 2 inches back. Make adjustments as you need to your yoga recipe today. Inhale, right hand back down to the mat, second side, left hand to the outside of the right ankle, and then pull yourself around in a twist. Inhale, release, left hand back to the front of your mat, and then keep walking your feet to the front of your mat. And walk the feet about hip width distance apart, toes pointing straight ahead. Once you get to the top of your mat, hold on to your elbows and fold over your legs. Okay, bring your hands to your hips, and as you inhale, rise up to stand, and then bring your hands to your heart. When we come back here to Tadasana, this pose, mountain pose, Tadasana, remember your intention for the practice, to bake your own pie in your own way. Use what you've got, make it as delicious as you can. I say let it feel good. Inhale, take your arms up overhead, reach up. Exhale, forward bend all the way down. Inhale, stretch forward halfway. Exhale, downward dog. In downward dog, deep inhale through your nose. Push it out through your mouth. As your breath turns to inhale, draw yourself to plank. And as your breath turns to exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Tops of the feet on the floor, legs are strong, upper back is strong. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk, step, or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Different ways of making the transitions between the poses. Honor what you've got to work with today. Inhale, rise up to stand. Palms touch overhead, and then exhale. Everything comes home to your heart. I forgot to say when we were talking about pies, I think the secret ingredient to any food that we make is love. So secret ingredient in your yoga practice is love. Find love for yourself, love for others, and sprinkle that throughout the asana. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen out. Make your vinyasa on your own here, taking the recipe that we just did and making it your own. We'll meet in downward dog. From downward dog, inhale, right leg back behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. Pull the knee in, and then put your foot right between your hands. We're gonna come up to side angle pose. So put your back heel on the mat. Let's all do the version where we have the right forearm or elbow on the right thigh. We're gonna do 3 arm circles. As you inhale, bring your left arm forward and up overhead. And then as you exhale, circle it back down towards your hip and the floor. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. This time as you inhale, bring your arm up and let that arm pull you up to warrior 2. Take a moment to find your warrior 2. What feels right for your body. Turn both palms up. Inhale, straighten your front arm. Fingertips touch overhead. And when you straighten the front leg and bring the fingertips up overhead, think about pulling from your feet through your core all the way up into your hands. Exhale, back down to warrior 2. 2 more like that. Inhale up, pulling everything in and up. Exhale, lower down. One more time, inhale to lift up, pulling in, exhale, lower down to warrior 2. Windmill your hands down to the mat, flip the back heel up. As you inhale, sweep the right hand back past the right hip and then straight up into the sky. We're gonna leave the arm right there for now. Get stronger in your legs, especially the back leg. Don't let it dip down. Think about charging it up. And then pull your right shoulder blade back a little bit. You may even take that right hand and wrap it around the left hip. In your twist. And then inhale, release, hand down to the mat. One leg dog, take your right leg back and up, bend your knee and twist open. Inhale, stretch the right leg back, square your hips. Next, inhale, draw forward, one leg plank or 2. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Second side, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Lifting, exhale, knee into nose. So pull in here. Keep pulling that knee in, and then plant your left foot between your hands. Come up to side angle pose, variation. Back heel on the ground, left forearm on the left thigh. 3 arm circles. As you inhale, bring your right arm forward and up. As you exhale, take it back and down. Move with the rhythm of your breath. Inhaling to draw the arm forward and up. Exhale, back and down. This time when you inhale, use that arm to lift you up to warrior 2. Take a moment to land into your pose. What's right for your body, what's right for that left knee, what's right for your shoulders. And then turn both palms up to the sky. Inhale, energy pulls up as you straighten the front leg, fingertips touch overhead. Exhale as you descend back to warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, straighten the leg, lift up. Exhale, lower down to warrior two. And then windmill your hands down to the mat. Back heel lifts up here. As you inhale, take the left hand back past your left hip and up into the air. We'll keep it right there as we refine the pose, reinforcing the strength in the legs. Don't forget the back leg. And then pulling the left shoulder blade back a little bit more. And then if you want, you can bind that top arm, bringing it around behind your back, maybe grabbing the front of the right hip. And then inhale, release your hand down to the mat. One leg dog, left leg reaches back and up, bend your knee and twist open. And then inhale, stretch the left leg back, square your hips up. One leg vinyasa, if that's how you ended the first side. If not, again, you're making this pie today. Use the ingredients that you have. From downward dog, bring your feet to the top of your mat. So I said top of your mat, but give yourself about 12 inches in front of your toes. 12 inches of mat in front of your toes. Fold in and inhale, lift up. Exhale, when your hands come to your heart, remember what you're doing today. Moving on with chair pose, lower your hips down and lift your arms up. Lift your gaze up. Keep the belly strong and the tail rooting down, but try to lift your heart at the same time. One more breath in here. Exhale, hands down to the mat for crow pose. Bakasana. Widen the knees out. Look out in front of you, not between your hands. Look forward, bend the elbows. Pull in through the belly, maybe lift both feet. And then take your vinyasa here. Maybe that's shooting the feet back to chaturanga or lowering the feet down and then stepping the feet back. From downward dog, inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, lunge your right foot to the front of your mat, using your core. Back heel down for warrior one. Inhale, lift up. Take a moment to find your warrior one. In general, hips are trying to square, shoulders are square, and you're creating a little back bend here at the top. Be with your pose, accept your warrior one where it is today. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, circle your arms as far back behind you as you can. So we're lowering the arms down as we circle, and then interlace the hands. Once you've interlaced, go for more of the back bend. Maybe slide your hands down your hips to the inside of your left thigh as you lift your chest up, lift your gaze up even more. And then inhale, back up, unlace your fingers. We'll take our hands down to the mat and straighten the front leg. Fold over that straight right leg. Inhale, bend your right knee. Next pose is Vashi Sasana, or side plank pose, on the left hand and outer edge of the left foot. Lots of different variations of this pose. So ingredients, ability, philosophy, go with what works for you. You're going to be on your left hand and the outer edge of the left foot. One option is just to turn those right toes out to the right and take your right arm into the air. Another option is to stack your right foot on top of the left. Another option is tree pose variation, sliding the sole of your right foot up your left leg. And then plank pose. From plank, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, using the core to get the foot up there. We'll do 3 push-ups here with the right foot on the outside of the right hand. As you inhale, bend the elbows lower. As you exhale, straighten the arms, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Step back to plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And then we're going to lower back to our bellies on the exhale. Bend your right knee. Reach back with a strap or your right hand and hug your heel in towards your hip. So all we're doing here is going for a quad stretch. Whatever helps you get length into the front of your right leg is what you should be doing right now. Even if it doesn't look like what I'm doing or the other people on the Hollywood squares of Zoom look like. Exhale, release your foot. Tuck your toes under. Get strong in your shoulders, get strong in your belly, get strong in your legs. We're going to do a little puff of air out to lift into chaturanga and then full exhale for plank. So take a big breath in, a little exhale, full exhale, downward dog. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Oh, again, I said top. Leave about 12 inches there. Or so, chair pose. And then straighten the legs, standing back bend, lots of different variations here, lots of different degrees for back bending. Make it feel good for you. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Second side, it starts with chair, lower, and then lift. So when you lower, you keep that lowering, that centering through the hips. And when you lift up through the heart. Exhale, hands to the mat, right into crow pose. Widen the knees, look forward, pull up through the belly, bend the elbows here. And then take your vinyasa, shooting the feet back to land in chaturanga, or just lowering the feet down and then stepping them to the back of your mat. From downward dog, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. On your exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat, using your core to pull that knee in and then plant the foot down. Warrior one, back heel rooting into the floor, and then inhale, rise up. Take a moment to find your pose, to refine your pose once you've landed in it. Refining is really finding a way to make it feel right for you. Circle the arms back and down, slowly lowering. When your hands get low, interlace other thumb on top. And we add more of a back bend here if it feels right. Sliding your hands down, lifting your chest up. Inhale, lift your chest back up. Unlace, hands down to the mat. Straighten your front leg, fold over it. Pull your left hip back and your right hip a little bit forward. Bend back into your left knee, Vashi Sasana, side plank pose on your right hand. outer edge of your right foot. Turn your left toes out to the left. That's one option. Any options work. Whatever you feel is right for you here. And then plank pose. Try to stay strong from top of your head through your heels in plank, and then lunge your left foot to the outside of your left hand. 3 push-ups here. Inhale to bend your elbows, get low. Exhale, straighten your arms, lift high. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, low. Exhale, straighten. With as little bobbling as you can, step back to plank again. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, roll back down to your mat. Bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, grab your foot and hug your heel into your hip. Whatever form of quad stretching works for you is what you should be doing right now. Okay, exhale, release your foot back. Dhanurasana is bow pose, bend both knees. Reach back with your hands. First option is to grab around the outsides of the feet. If you can get lower onto the very bottom of your shin, you may be able to get a better grasp. Then you can flex your feet. If feet is where you are, you're still going to have a good hold there to lift you into your bow. So pull your belly up, root your tailbone back, with the front of the shoulders away from the mat, look forward, and then on an exhale, press the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, squeeze your shoulder blades onto the mat, and then to add just a little bit more, push your feet or your shins back into your hands, lifting up just a little bit more, your back bend. Don't overdo it, make it feel good, juicy, delicious. Secret ingredient is love. Exhale, release down, stretch the legs back. Crocodile pose, bring your palms under your forehead, widen your legs out and shift your hips side to side. All right, get ready to lift into chaturanga. Hands in place, toes tucked under, strong back body, strong front body, a little breath out for chaturanga, full breath out for plank, and then back to downward dog. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Last chair pose of the practice. Low hips, rooting down, high heart, lifting up, and then straighten the legs. Another standing back bend here. Inhale, back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms reach up for the sky, and then full exhale, fall down to the earth. Inhale, go halfway between earth and sky. Exhale, take your vinyasa. I'll catch up with you in downward dog. In downward dog, lift your right leg back and up behind you. Use your core to lunge your foot to the top of your mat. High crescent pose. So back heel stays lifted, sweep your arms forward and up. So to find the crescent shape is your back body making a half moon or crescent shape. So I guess that would be more quarter moon. I don't know. Press back through your left heel and then lift up through your heart. Try to keep your biceps on either side of your head as you take your gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale, torso back upright. Exhale, eagle pose. Stand on your right leg, cross the left leg all the way over and the left arm under. Try to wrap your forearms here. If you can, press your palms into each other. If that's not working for you, use your left hand to grab your right thumb or press the backs of your hands into each other. Steady here. If you wobble, just embrace that. That's where you are today. On your inhale, open up, half moon pose. Standing on your right foot and right fingers come down to the ground. Left arm stretches up to the sky. Take a moment just to be in your pose. Embrace where you are. Half moon sugar cane. Bend your left knee. Reach back with your left hand. Grab your foot. Hug your heel in to begin. And then as you exhale, make it a back bend. Push your foot away from your hip. Draw your shoulder back. Open up the front body. Very gently release your left foot. Come back to half moon pose. And then as slowly as you can, step into warrior two. So left foot will go to the back of your mat and you'll bring your torso upright, returning to warrior two. And then straighten your front leg, reverse triangle pose. Right bicep near the right ear as you lean back. Inhale, lift up. Front leg stays straight, triangle pose. Reach forward. And then right fingers to the mat, left fingers to the sky. Once you find yourself in the pose, then begin to refine for what feels right for you. And then release, hands down to the mat as you bend into the front knee. One leg dog, right leg lifts. One leg vinyasa, two leg vinyasa. You make your asana pie here. Second side starts now. Inhale, left leg back behind you. Exhale, use your core to place it between your hands at the front of your mat. High crescent pose, front knee stays bent, back leg stays straight. Sweep your arms forward and up. So we're pretty upright here. We've got a back bend in the low back because the right leg is back behind us. But then we add the back bend in the middle and upper backs. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, find that crescent moon shape with your back body. Inhale, back up. Eagle pose, standing on your left leg, cross the right thigh all the way over, and your right arm under the left arm. Balance is easier when the gaze is really steady. On your inhale, start to unfurl and open out to half moon pose. Still balancing on the left foot, and then the left fingers will come to your block or to the floor. Right fingers to the sky. Left leg stretches straight back, or right leg stretches straight back behind. Half moon sugar cane pose. Bend your right knee, hugging your heel in towards your hip. Reach back with your right hand. Grab where you can. Take a breath to be here and stretch the quad. And then as you exhale, open into more of a back bend. Gently release your foot, stretching back open to half moon pose. And then from here, stretch your right foot back and down to the mat until you land in Warrior Two. Reverse triangle, straighten the front leg. Open up the left side body as you stretch back. Inhale up. Exhale, triangle pose. And then both hands down to the mat, coming into lunge. Last one leg vinyasa. Take your left leg back and up behind you. Option to keep that leg lifted as you flow through. We're going to meet in a child's pose when you're done with your vinyasa. If you are done now, you go straight to child's pose. Take a moment here just to be with your breath and honor the ingredients, your body, mind, heart, and breath that you brought into this practice today, and the secret ingredient of love. All right, bring yourself up to hands and knees. So we're going to take time today for an inversion. I've been having a hard time in these hour-long classes fitting inversions in. I know some of you do them all along, but we'll take a little dedicated time to invert. So because this is especially the class where you create the asana, it can be any inversion you like. I'll talk you through headstand, but you can take handstand if you like. You can take legs up the wall where you have your back on the ground and then your legs reaching up the wall and pushing into the wall. You can take a shoulder stand, whatever feels good. I'll talk you through headstand 2. I think it's more accessible and frankly easier for me to teach through Zoom than headstand 1. So from all fours, for headstand 2, if you're moving on for something else, you go for it. You're going to bring your head to the mat. So this is going to be not right at the hairline, but a few fingers back. So you're not on the very flat top of your head, but somewhere between your hairline and the top of the head is where you want to place your head. And then hands down on the mat, shoulder width distance apart. And you just eyeball this. You want the same distance between left and right hands as the distance you have between each hand up to your head. Equilateral triangle for those of you who are more pi 3.14 oriented. Tuck your toes under, draw your shoulder blades onto the back. So you want to get those shoulders nice and strong before you start to lift up. Strong shoulders, strong abdomen, lift your knees off the mat. And if this is too much pressure for your head, then bring your knees back down, and maybe at this point you come into something like shoulder stand or legs up the wall. If you feel okay in your head and your neck, walk your feet in. Take one leg into the air, try to lift it high, and then just a little bit of pushing, not jumping, but just a little bit of pushing of the foot that's on the floor up until maybe you're able to float that foot up and join your feet together overhead. If you're in your inversion and it feels right, take a couple more breaths. If you're already down, stay where you are. And then slowly start to come down. If you were in the headstand, we're going to come back to an extended child's pose. So arms out in front, forehead on the mat. And then roll across your forehead a few times. Slide your hands back until they're under your shoulders. Pull the fronts of the shoulders away from the floor. And then think about lifting from the back of your head. So back of the head lifts up to bring you up to a seat. And no matter where you are, where you've been in your inversion practice, let's stretch both legs out in front now. Arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift back up. You're going to bend your right knee, sole of the foot on the floor. Left hand comes behind you to push down into the floor and help you sit a little taller. Right arm up. As you exhale, bow forward. So you're really reaching forward with that right arm. Some of us will be able to grab the left foot. For some of us, it's somewhere along the inside of the left leg. So this is one version of Marichiasana 1. The version that's in Light On Yoga has a bind. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the bind. Bind is wrapping around your right leg. Left arm comes behind. You're still folding forward. But if that bind is not for you today, just stay with the forward bend, letting your legs come wherever they come on your body. Inhale, lift back up, or if you were bound, unbind. We're going to bring the right leg into baby cradle. So baby cradle has options. One is to grab your right knee and your right foot. Another is to bring your arms underneath here, holding on. And then a third is to wrap your leg up like it's a baby. Whatever version you choose, try to be strong into your outer right ankle. Instead of letting the ankle sickle here, try to press the outer edge of your foot forward and down. So we use a little bit of core strength here to recline back. So as you go back, depending on the tightness of your hip muscles, you may have to release your hug on the baby a little bit. Take a breath in, use your abdominal muscles, and slowly roll down to the mat, bringing that right leg with you, but releasing as much as you need to. Just trying to get a hip opener here. And then release baby cradle. Hug your right knee into your chest. Your sole of your right foot is reaching in the same direction your left foot is in. Keep the right knee hugged in. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Lift your left leg off the ground. We're going to roll up to balance on our sitting bones with our legs in this shape. So take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly start to curl up. And then bend your left knee, hugging it in, half boat pose. Cross your right shin in front of your left. Legs down on the ground, arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale up. We'll take that sequence on the second side. So we start with our legs straight out in front. Marichiasana 1 on the second side. You bend your left knee. So again, in Light On Yoga, I think Iyengar tries to get his left heel to his left sitting bone. That's not going to happen for all of us. So, You do you. That's what we're about today. Right hand behind, left arm up, stretch tall. And then as you exhale, fold inside that left leg, reaching forward, grab where you can. On your leg, maybe your foot, both hands can come around now and grab. You can stay right here, or if you want to bind around your left leg, you keep the left arm on the inside of the left leg, reach it back around, reach the right hand around. Fold in a couple of breaths here. Inhale, lift yourself up, unbind if you were bound, and baby cradle with your left leg. So you can hold on to your knee and your foot. Forearms come underneath and then wrap around the outside of the left shin, or wrap that shin up in your arms. Use your slow exhale and your abdominals to slowly roll down to the mat, bringing your shin with you. Couple of breaths here in reclining baby cradle. And then let that go. Hug your left knee into your chest. Keep the knee drawn in, stretch your arms out in front of you. And then elevate your right leg a few inches off the ground. You're going to use your exhale to slowly roll up and balance, keeping the legs in this shape, reaching the fingers forward, and then hug the right knee in, half boat pose. Cross the left shin over the right. Come to sit, take the arms up overhead, and then exhale, bow forward. Inhale, bring your torso back upright. Put the soles of your feet on your mat, knees are bent. We're going to come down to our backs. We'll take one back bend here, so I recommend bridge pose. I'll talk you through that one, but you can take any back bend that you like here. For bridge pose, just see in your mind's eye that your feet are about hip width and parallel to one another, and then hug your upper arms in close by your sides. Press down into the backs of those upper arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another on the back. Press into the back of your head. Press into your feet. Lift your hips up. With your arms straight, you can, first option is backs of the hands on the floor, pushing the arms down. Second option, interlacing the hands, and then maybe walking the shoulders under. Everything that's on the floor pushes down to help you lift and open the front of the body. And then on an inhale, unlace the hands, walk the shoulders out, lower the hips down. Hug your knees into your chest. And circle the knees around in one direction a few times. And then in the other direction a few times. You're ready to, this pie is almost done. Stretch out for Shavasana. Stretch the legs out long. Of course, if you need any finishing poses other than what we've done, take those on your own. Once you land into your pose, then you refine your pose. Maybe wiggling the shoulder blades under a little bit more. Maybe softening your jaw. We'll take 3 cleansing breaths. We'll do one together, then the other 2 are on your own. Again, on the exhale, we're letting go of our ideas about what others may think about our yoga practice. We're letting go of what's in the books about yoga, and we're just being with what we have today. So I'll do one of these cleansing breaths with you, and then the next 2 are yours. Big inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it all go. After your next 2 cleansing breaths, just let your body sink into the earth and rest here for a few more moments. Come back to your breath. Stretch it out a little bit. So your inhales and your exhales are a little longer. And then begin to stretch out your body a little bit, waving your fingers and your toes. Reaching your arms overhead, stretching your legs out a little longer. On an exhale, roll to your side. Take a moment here to honor what you did on your mat today. Honor your ability. Honor the ingredients. Honor your philosophy that you brought to yoga asana. And then bring yourself up to a seat. Once you find that seat, close your eyes and bring your hands to your heart. I hope as you go through your day, you're able to continue working with what you've got. doing the best that you can with what you have at hand, doing it in your way. Let's collect our energy together to send it out to all of those in need. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.